Get this boy out of my lobby! The roar of Richard Halverson, billionaire CEO of Halverson International, shakes the marble lobby like thunder. His silver hair is slicked back, his Armani suit pressed to perfection, but his face is red with fury. All eyes are locked on the scene. A maid and her son cornered by two massive security guards. The son, just a kid in a hoodie, clutches a laptop against his chest as if it's his only shield. The cameras are already out. Employees, interns, even executives are recording, some whispering, others laughing. A live stream counter in the corner of one phone ticks upward. Hundreds, then thousands tuning in. Richard jabs a finger in the boy's face. "You think you're going to fix my company? You? The maid's son?" The crowd gasps. Some laugh openly now. The boy, Marcus Carter, doesn't flinch. His voice is steady, almost quiet. "If you let me try, I can stop the system crash. But you don't have much time left." The whole lobby bursts into cruel laughter. The system crash had already paralyzed the skyscraper. Red alerts flashed across every computer screen. Network failure. Core system breach. Elevators were stuck mid-floor. Door locks froze. Investors screamed over dead phone lines. Halverson International, crowned jewel of global cybersecurity, was eating itself alive, and into that storm had walked Daniela Carter, the maid, her son Marcus tagging along quietly at her side. She just wanted to finish her shift, clock out, and go home. But the chaos swallowed them whole. Richard Halverson stormed into the lobby like a general on the battlefield, barking at his top engineers who scrambled uselessly on their tablets. "We are losing $800 million in contracts," he shouted. Government servers, military databases, private banks, all crashing. "And none of you can fix it?" The executives shrank back. Not one had an answer, and then softly Marcus had spoken up. "It's a recursive loop in your kernel. Whoever coded your backbone left an open exploit. I can patch it." Everyone froze. The room turned. The maid's son had just offered to fix what the best engineers in the world couldn't. Richard's jaw dropped, then twisted into a sneer. "You?" His laugh echoed off the marble walls. "You think you can do what my billion-dollar team cannot? You're a child, a janitor's brat. You probably don't even know how to spell encryption." The crowd erupted in mocking chuckles. Someone whispered loud enough for others to hear. "Must have watched a YouTube tutorial." Phones captured every word, every smirk. The comments on the live stream rolled in. "LMAO, this kid's wild." "CEO humbling the janitor boy." "This is going viral." Daniela tried to shield her son, her voice trembling. "Please, Mr. Halverson, he didn't mean—" But Halverson shoved her cleaning cart so hard it crashed, bottles of disinfectant and rags scattering across the marble. The entire room gasped. "Don't you dare speak when I'm talking," Halverson barked. His voice was cruel, his eyes sharp with contempt. He leaned close to Marcus. "People like you don't belong in places like this. This world is built by men like me, and you—" He jabbed Marcus's chest with a finger. "You're nothing." Security stepped closer. One grabbed Marcus's arm, but Marcus didn't fight, didn't raise his voice, didn't even blink. His laptop hung loose in his hands as he stared calmly back into the eyes of the furious CEO. "If I walk out," Marcus said softly, his voice cutting through the laughter, "your company will collapse in 45 minutes. The crowd silenced. Even Halverson froze just for an instant. The camera zoomed closer. Marcus didn't flinch. "And when it does, you'll remember this moment. That I was right here, offering to save you. And you threw me out because I was just the maid's son." The lobby went dead quiet, and then Richard burst into hysterical laughter, trying to shake off the chill that ran down his spine. "Security! Get this trash out of my sight before I lose my patience." The guards yanked Marcus and Daniela toward the doors as the live stream comments exploded again. "OMG, this is gold!" "CEO humiliating this kid live?" "Imagine thinking you could outsmart Halverson's team." Nobody realized the truth. Nobody saw that the quiet boy in the hoodie had already cracked the system in his head. And without him, Halverson International was only minutes from total ruin. The heavy glass doors slam shut behind them. Daniela clutches Marcus's arm as the guards push them into the cold evening air outside the skyscraper. Her voice trembles with panic. "Baby, why did you speak up? Why did you say anything? These people will crush you just for breathing the same air as them." Marcus gently sets his laptop down on the concrete ledge, resting his hands on it like it's an extension of himself. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't argue. He just looks at his mother with calm, steady eyes. "Because they don't know what's coming," he says quietly. "And if I don't stop it, the whole system is going down. And when it does, it's not just them that'll suffer. Hospitals, banks, airports, ordinary people will lose everything." Daniela's heart aches. She sees the same calm determination her late husband once carried, a soldier who always kept his word, no matter the odds. But inside the skyscraper, chaos erupts. Richard Halverson storms back into the executive boardroom. His team huddles around laptops and massive screens filled with red alerts. "Status report," he barks. The CTO's hands shake. "Sir, we've lost 4 banking networks in the last 10 minutes. Government servers are collapsing one by one. If we don't contain this breach, projections show losses climbing to $1.2 billion within the hour." Phones buzz constantly. Reporters call for comment. Senators demand answers. The company's stock plummets minute by minute. Richard's face grows redder with every passing second. His pride refuses to consider the boy's words. "Hire outside consultants. Call the Pentagon if you have to. But I will not have my empire saved by some janitor's son." The executives nod nervously, but their eyes betray doubt. The boy's calm words lingered in their minds. Down in the lobby, employees are still buzzing. Many never stopped recording. Clips of the confrontation are already trending online. CEO humiliates Maid's son during crisis. This kid had the guts to say he could fix it. Look at the way he stayed calm. Bro might actually know something. The view count climbs past 500,000. The public spectacle has taken a life of its own. Outside, Marcus sits on the concrete steps with his laptop open, typing rapidly. Lines of code fill the screen. Daniela glances around nervously, whispering, "Baby, they'll call the police if they see you hacking." "I'm not hacking," Marcus answers calmly. His eyes don't leave the screen. "I'm simulating. I'm mapping the breach from the outside. If I can predict the loop, I can stabilize it. But I need access. Real access." His voice never wavers. Even as strangers passing by glance curiously, even as his mother wrings her hands in fear, Marcus radiates calm determination. That composure spreads like wildfire. Some of the same employees who laughed minutes earlier now slip outside, phones still recording, whispering to each other. "Look at him. He doesn't even look nervous." Dude's focused, almost like he's done this before. Back upstairs, Richard's pride reaches boiling point. The CFO blurts out what everyone else is too afraid to say. "Sir, with respect." The boy might actually be worth listening to. "What if—" Richard slams a fist on the table so hard the glasses rattle. "Enough! I built this empire from nothing. And I will not hand my reputation, my billion-dollar name, over to some nobody in a hoodie." He glares at the trembling executives. "Call the police. File trespassing charges. And make sure that boy never sets foot near this building again." One timid VP hesitates. "Sir, the video is already viral. Public sentiment is turning. If people see us arresting him—" Richard cuts him off with a snarl. "Do it! I don't care if the whole world is watching. That boy will learn what it means to challenge Richard Halverson." Minutes later, 2 squad cars screech up outside the skyscraper. Officers step out, hands on their belts. The watching employees gasp. Cameras zoom in. Daniela panics, clutching Marcus's shoulders. "Please, don't resist. Please, baby, just do what they say." But Marcus doesn't panic. His hands never leave the keyboard. His voice is calm. "Ma, I'm not resisting. I'm just not finished yet." The officers move closer. "Young man, shut the laptop and stand up." "You're coming with us," the crowd murmurs, phones raised. Someone whispers, "They're really arresting him." While the system's still crashing, Marcus closes his eyes briefly, then looks straight at the officers. His tone is quiet but commanding. Officer, if you shut this laptop, within 20 minutes, Halverson International's entire system will collapse. That includes emergency networks, medical databases, even your own police communications. If you want to explain to your chief why the city went dark, go ahead. Arrest me! The officers freeze. For a moment, the weight of his words sinks in. Even they hesitate. The crowd erupts in gasps and whispers. Phones keep rolling. The live stream explodes with comments. Wait, is he serious? The kid sounds way more confident than the CEO LOL. Yo, this is bigger than we thought. Inside the boardroom, the engineers cry out as another wave of crashes rip through the system. Sir, we've lost another $200 million in contracts. Hospitals are calling, machines are shutting down. We're running out of time. Richard, shaking with rage, refuses to give in. I don't care if the world burns. That boy will never be the one who saves Halverson International. He storms to the window, glaring down at the sight of Marcus on the steps below, surrounded by police, yet typing calmly as though he already owns the building. The audience sees it before anyone else. The difference in composure. Richard Halverson, red-faced, raging, spiraling out of control. Marcus Carter, quiet, calm, immovable. The live stream comments flip. CEO looks desperate. The kid looks chill. I think the boy actually knows what he's doing. Bet he's about to shock them all. And though Richard can't see it yet, the tide of power is already shifting. The humiliation was supposed to destroy Marcus. Instead, every second he stays calm, every second he refuses to break, makes the audience believe him more. The flashing blue and red of police lights paint the glass walls of Halverson International. The crowd outside has grown. Employees, interns, curious bystanders, even reporters rushing in after catching the viral clips online. The live stream counter hits 1.2 million viewers. And still, in the middle of the chaos, Marcus Carter sits on the steps, typing steadily on his laptop. Calm, unshaken. Every keystroke is precise, deliberate. Inside the boardroom, engineers scream over one another as the system hemorrhages. Entire networks go dark on the screens. Sir, we've lost 3 hospitals, one cries. Air traffic controls are failing. Planes are grounding themselves. Another yells. If this loop keeps spiraling, we'll have a total infrastructure collapse in the next 25 minutes. Richard Halverson's face twists in rage and desperation. Sweat beads on his forehead. For the first time in years, the great CEO looks like a man who has no answers. And yet, even now, he refuses to bend. Richard storms down to the lobby, pushing through his own employees. He stands at the top of the marble staircase, looking down at Marcus like a king about to pass judgment. You think you're special? He bellows. His voice carries through the lobby into every camera lens. You think because you can type on a laptop, you're on my level? I built this empire. I have degrees from Harvard, Stanford, MIT. I have the brightest minds in the world working for me. And you... He points down with shaking fury. You are nothing but a Maid son, a nobody who should have stayed invisible. The crowd gasps. The cruelty, the arrogance, it's raw. But Richard doesn't stop. I will not let the legacy of Richard Halverson be saved or destroyed by a boy in a hoodie. Security! Arrest him! Now! The guards move closer again. The police hesitate, but the pressure mounts. Daniela screams, stepping in front of her son, tears streaming down her face. Please! He can help you! Just let him... But Marcus doesn't move. His hands never shake. He keeps typing, eyes glued to the screen. Then, without looking up, he speaks. His calm voice cuts through the chaos like a blade. Richard Halverson. Do you even know who owns the backbone your company runs on? The words freeze the room. Richard blinks, confused, caught off guard. What did you just say? Marcus lifts his head at last. For the first time, his voice rises, not in anger, but in clarity, in authority. The system you built, your empire, sits on top of a framework designed by my father, Staff Sergeant David Carter, U.S. Cyber Defense Unit, the man you never hired, the man you laughed at, the man who died protecting a digital infrastructure you now profit from. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Daniela covers her mouth, tears flowing. Marcus continues, voice steady, his words echoing. And before he died, he taught me everything. The codes, the loopholes, the fail-safes. I know this system better than you ever will. Because my father built the bones of it and I perfected it. The room goes silent. Phones tremble in hands. The live stream chat explodes. What? His dad built the framework? Yo, this is insane. This kid's the real genius here. Suddenly, the massive lobby screens, frozen with red error messages, begin to flicker. One by one, lines of green text override the failures. Marcus's laptop pings softly with every keystroke. Onlookers watch in shock as the collapsing system begins to stabilize. Air traffic control networks come back online. Hospital servers blink green. Financial databases reconnect. The very system that Richard's billion-dollar engineers couldn't. Save is patching itself before everyone's eyes. Because of the Maid's son sitting calmly on the steps, the crowd gasps. Employees cheer. Phones zoom in on Marcus's screen as green overtakes the red. The live stream comment section flips completely. This kid is legit. Bro just saved millions of lives. CEO looking like a fool now. Richard's jaw hangs open. For once, the man has no words. His empire, the one he claimed nobody else could touch, was just saved not by him, not by his hand-picked team of Ivy League engineers, but by the boy he tried to throw out like garbage. And worse, millions of people are watching it happen live. Marcus closes his laptop softly. The system is stable again. He looks up at Richard, eyes calm, voice controlled. Your system is safe, for now. But let's be clear, you didn't save it. I did. The crowd explodes in cheers. Employees clap. Some even shout Marcus's name. Daniela sobs quietly, pride shining through her tears. Richard stumbles backward, pale as the marble beneath his feet. He looks less like a king now, and more like a man watching his empire slip away. Marcus rises slowly to his feet, laptop in hand. He walks toward the staircase, his steps deliberate. The cameras follow every movement. He stands at the bottom, looking up at Richard Halverson, who now trembles under the weight of millions of watching eyes. You humiliated me. You mocked me. You tried to destroy me in front of the world. But in the end, the world saw the truth. You don't own this system. You don't even understand it. And you don't deserve the empire sitting on top of it. The room erupts again. The live stream counter surges past 2 million viewers. Richard's face crumples with horror. He's no longer the predator, no longer the untouchable CEO. He's the man caught in his own arrogance, humiliated in front of the entire world by the Maid's son. The applause still echoes through the marble lobby, but Richard Halverson doesn't hear it. His ears ring with humiliation. His knees feel weak as he clutches the railing of the staircase, trying not to collapse. Marcus, standing calm and steady below him, lifts his laptop like a gavel. The silence that follows is deafening. Millions are watching online and hundreds are gathered in person, waiting for what the Maid's son will say next. Marcus speaks slowly, each word deliberate. Richard Halverson, for years, you've stood on stages claiming to be the genius behind this empire. You sold the world on your name, your degrees, your image. But you built your fortune on the bones of other men's work. On my father's work. Gasps ripple through the lobby. Daniela lowers her head, tears of pride streaming down her face. Marcus continues, voice growing stronger. You laughed at him. You ignored him. And when he died, you erased his name from the story so you could take all the credit. But tonight, Marcus gestures to the green-lit screens behind him, the world saw the truth. You are not the savior of this system. You're its parasite! Richard stumbles forward, his voice trembling with fury. You think anyone will believe you? You think some boy in a hoodie is going to tear down decades of my legacy? Marcus doesn't even flinch. They already do. Millions of people saw this live. Every executive in this room knows you failed. And now, so does the world. The live stream comment section explodes. Expose him! Halverson is done. Marcus just ended his career live. Marcus turns to the cameras. Richard Halverson violated federal cybersecurity contracts. He endangered hospitals, airports, even government agencies. That's negligence on a national scale. Under Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 1030, you've committed computer fraud and abuse. That's punishable by up to 20 years in prison. The executives gasp. Reporters type furiously. Police officers exchange shocked looks. And that's not all, Marcus continues coldly. Every contract you signed has a morality clause. The footage of you shoving my mother, humiliating your own staff, publicly mocking someone based on race and class, that's breach of conduct. Every sponsor, every partner, every government branch is legally entitled to terminate their contracts with you immediately. He looks directly at Richard, his voice sharp as a blade. Which means you don't just face prison. You face bankruptcy, billions gone. Halverson International reduced to dust overnight. The room erupts in gasps. Richard's face drains of all color. His empire, decades of power, crumbling in a single night. But Marcus isn't finished. He steps forward, calm but commanding. I should let it all burn. I should let you collapse under the weight of your own arrogance. But I'm not like you. My father taught me that justice isn't about revenge, it's about transformation. He pauses. The cameras zoom in. The crowd leans closer. So here's your choice, Richard Halverson. Option 1, you lose everything. Your wealth, your company, your reputation. You vanish in disgrace, another corrupt CEO who thought he was untouchable, or... Marcus holds the silence for a long moment. You take the harder road. You resign tonight. You confess everything. How you stole credit, how you endangered lives, how you humiliated others. You publicly apologize. Then, you dedicate the remainder of your fortune to repairing what you broke. Scholarships for underprivileged youth, funding hospitals, supporting black innovators your system ignored. You will rebuild, not your empire, but the communities you once crushed. The crowd gasps. Even the police officers stare in awe. The live stream explodes. This is justice. He gave him a choice. Wow. This kid is more of a leader than the CEO ever was. Richard's legs buckle. He drops to his knees on the staircase, his voice shaking. I can't. I'll lose everything. Marcus doesn't blink. You already have. The only question is whether you walk away in chains or in humility. The silence is absolute. Cameras flash. The world waits, and for the first time in his life, Richard Halverson bows his head. I resign, his voice cracks. I'll do it. I'll make it right. The crowd erupts. Some cheer, others cry. Daniela clutches her son's arm, whispering through tears, You did it, baby. You changed everything. 6 months later, the Halverson International Tower gleams under a new name. The Carter Foundation for Innovation. A giant banner hangs in the lobby, empowering the next generation of voices. Richard Halverson is gone from the public eye. True to his word, he resigned, confessed, and redirected his fortune. His name is forever tarnished, but the scholarships, grants, and community programs now flourishing bear witness to his redemption attempt. And at the center of it all stands Marcus Carter, no longer the Maid's son dismissed as a nobody. Now, the director of cyber defense initiatives at just 19 years old, mentoring hundreds of young coders from underprivileged backgrounds. On stage at a press conference, Marcus speaks to a sea of flashing cameras. His mother sits in the front row, proud beyond words. 6 months ago, I was humiliated, mocked, and told I didn't belong. But that moment became the spark that changed everything. Today, this foundation exists to make sure no young mind is ever silenced again. Because brilliance has no uniform, no bank account, no skin color. Genius can come from anywhere, even the son of a maid. The crowd rises in thunderous applause. Daniela wipes her tears, her heart full. And as the live stream counter ticks into the millions once more, the final words echo across the screen. Never underestimate the unseen. Never despise the overlooked. For one day, the stone you rejected may become the cornerstone of change. Fade out.